All right. So in season 2, Broken Promises, I kind of talked about what it was like living with my dad and how my mom had us go stay there so that we could, have things a little bit better than what was happening at my mom's house. I'm assuming my mom is the one that got a hold of him. Can probably guarantee he didn't get a hold of her. Like, hey, I want to take those kids. I think I have. Now that we've done some character development, there's me, my older sister Heather, there's Justin in between us, and there's Tony. So I mentioned also probably Lukas, that he was born during the time I described over at my dad's. So I went there when I was 6, and I think we're up to like entrance of middle school, which is a good part to switch over to this side of when I went to go visit my mom. And there is a disclaimer. We can't have anybody like that is going to get any type of triggered by listening to some of the things that we're going to talk about today. Some of the stuff that I'm going to probably leave out due to personal reasons and privacy reasons, because there's some, life is a winding road, right? So season 3 is called Existing in a Crisis. So if you guys are big fans of you know where that song came from, but Existing in Crisis season 3. So that's a good name for this episode in particular, because as I had mentioned before, there was like some points in our life, like up into that point, where there were some strange things starting to occur. So when we first went to go live with our dad, then we were seeing our mom basically every other weekend. I just know it was every other weekend. I don't understand how that's like a thing. Like, that's not enough parenting time for a parent. Whoever came up with that is stupid. They should have them every weekend, at least. Tony lived with his mom. So we would come, like when we would come on our weekends, he would come at the same time. So that was kind of fun. And we corresponded with each other so we could hang out and have fun, and because we were the fun one, we were the older ones, and we would play with the younger ones. So at this point there was just Lukas, and then Travis came directly after. They're Irish twins. So Lukas was born on in May 1988, and then Travis came again exactly a year later in 89. Exactly. It's crazy. Not the same day, but one day apart. Crazy, right? So Travis came, and it wasn't as exciting, no offense to Travis, because Lukas just got here. Okay, another one. Lukas is still in diapers. 2 years after that, I think 91, so 32. I'm not doing math. 1991, right? How old is Cody? In January, Cody was born, and that was my 5th and last brother, because I had my older stepbrother, Tony, who was 1 year younger than me, brother, stepbrother, and then Lukas, Travis, Cook. And that was the boys, right? I gotta tell ya, I loved going over to my mom's house, and I don't know why, because I am so not a kid person, but they're like magnets to me. Kids are drawn to me, and they tend to say very complimentary things and want to be my buddy. So it was the same for my siblings. I'm the fun one. Everybody knows that. So, because we did stay in the ghetto for a bit longer. Because I remember when I got my rollerblades, we were rollerblade around in the, where Heather got beat up. They moved so often. I can't even keep track. We were probably moved out of the ghetto by then. I can't even keep track of all the houses they lived in. It was nuts. And I don't know if it was a matter of money, they couldn't afford the rent and they got evicted, maybe. I don't really know the ins and outs of it. Like I said, I'll have to have my mom on the podcast to answer some of these questions if she'll have me. Yeah, so they would move all over the place, and they ended up settling in this really nice house. I remember loving this one because the one the church owned, and the church was right next door, and there was a little parking lot, so we would ride our bikes around. They had a basketball hoop. We played basketball. Just ironic, it was directly across the street from Justin's grandma's house, his dad's parents, and he went there all the time. So Justin would be there, hey, you want to play basketball? I don't think we hung out that much. Justin was more of a, entrepreneur, and I was 12. The college and stuff was further down, and it was just a kind of a busy area, a lot of going on. And then like on the other side of the church, there's like a big baseball field and there's a park. And Lukas was the older one, so he's like, you know, wanted to be cool, wanted to impress me. He looked up to me and I was like, yeah. And Tony, obviously, because he was his older brother. What house was this? It was the one with it was like a duplex or something. But I would have the most memories there of like just having fun, like, because my parents, my stepdad and my mom, like, never around. My parents were poor, like my mom and stepdad were poor, and I mean, it's not like I had a lot. Like, even though my dad had much more money than my mother did, he kept it all for himself and his peanut M&Ms and whatever. So, like, we didn't, like, benefit much from his money. My brothers really, my little brothers, they, like, went through a lot of, like, you know, the poor life, you know? I felt so bad. Like, I would bring stuff. Like, we would, I remember one time we made them a haunted house out of like cardboard boxes, and we like ran it all through the laundry room and through the back, and they were so scared. We were being there like grab them through the holes in the side of the box. I don't know. Played Thriller really loud in the background. Yeah, speaking of Thriller, here's another thing. My brothers were such good sports. I can't believe they did this. So I was like I said, like 12, and I loved Michael Jackson. It was like my shit. And my mom had what was like MJTV happening, like on MTV or something. So we had that. But then my mom also bought the album, which was like the history album. So it had like one album was like all his like old stuff, like Billie Jean and whatnot. And then the new one's all like his new stuff. So it was bad. I like love this thing. So I'd be, you know, getting the boombox, jamming to some Michael, you know, in the basement, because the basement was like finished. It was decent. It wasn't like the Michigan basement from prior days. So I would dance in the basement. Like, it was kind of private, I guess, but my brothers would always want to be like down there or whatever. Like, all right, well, if you're going to be down here, you have to dance with me. So I was like, I got this idea. I'm like, dude, I'm going to like totally choreograph this dance and we're going to like perform it for mom and dad. And they're like, whoa. I mean, and Travis, man, that dude has some moves. He can like moonwalk and stuff. We're like, Travis. But yeah, he got the moves. Like Jagger, like Jackson. We were like, learn this dance. And like, it would take all evening. Like, we'd be like, oh, it's black. Like, and so we were all moving at the same time. And I think Cody had to have been like 3. Like, what was he doing? Like, he was doing it. He was like, you know, I don't know. It was crazy. And we'd go perform it for our parents. And it would be like a lead-in, you know? So like, I'd like slide the boombox on the floor towards the couch, push play, and then like slither out. And then we'd just like come in with the music. So stupid. But it was so cool because my parents would do it. They would like totally just like fucking watch us do this shit. So, and then they clapped at the end. We're like, oh! And we did that a lot. We did a lot of dances. And I like write down the moves. Like leg up, like. So, and they loved me. And then they didn't want him in it or not. We had a good time. Like, they had these bikes. And my mom had like this old 70s like 10-speed or something that she got at a garage sale. It was all rusted. So I would take that bike, and Cody didn't have a bike, but Travis and Lukas got like these sweet bikes for Christmas the year before. Poor Cody. So I would ride Cody on the handlebars of this rickety asshole bike. And it was like a challenge all in itself. I was like, okay, can't let the 3-year-old fall and hurt himself on like, you know. Let me just make it clear, we're basically all brunettes with dark eyes. And then there's Cody and Hannah, and they're like the different ones. Hannah more so than Cody, but Cody kind of had like hazel eyes and this blonde hair, like towhead blonde hair. And he had it like in a bowl cut. It was so cute. So when Cody was born, the whole time they're like all sad because it's like Cody is a boy. He is supposed to be a girl. Cody was a hefty baby. So she gives birth to him and he comes out and doctor's like, oh my God, that's not a boy. And my mom's like, oh my God, it's a girl. Thank God. The doctor's like, it's a man. Because he was so big. Do you know how big this kid was? 10 pounds, 11 ounces. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mama. 10 pounds. Big old fucking Charlie Brown head. Like, what? How did my mom live through that? But yeah, man baby. So Cody, man. So he was a giggle, but I was saying how cute he was, like the toe head, and dimples, double dimples, and he was always giggling until he couldn't breathe. He would just giggle, and like and his nose would like flare, and I would be concerned that he couldn't breathe because he would he'd quit laughing and breathe. I told you, and I think it was in the last episode, about how my mom said my dad had stole my joy. And I kind of feel like that happened to my brother Cody. And it's not that it didn't happen to the rest of them, but they were just more, they weren't like Cody. Cody was just like, we called him Giggle Butt. You know, he's always giggling all the time, and he had these dimples, and it was just like, he just made you laugh, and it was so cute, you know? And so it would make him laugh more. And he's not, you know, you would never guess that if you met him now. Because he's very serious. He's one of the more serious ones. Some of his joy got stolen, and that makes me sad. But I can relate. So don't be too hard on yourself. You'll get it back. Maybe if you do the podcast, it'll help you. Come on, Cody. I know you want to. I would ride Cody on the handlebars of this CS bike, and one time I was going, and there was like a crack, like significantly in the sidewalk, like something had been disrupted because we did it all the time. Like we'd always take the same route there, the same route back. Cody's little body goes flying up and on the ground, and I was like, oh my God, don't cry. Because we're not that far from the house, and he would wail when he did cry. No concussion, like everything's fine. So it wasn't a big deal, but I just remember it being funny. It's kind of, sorry, I keep laughing at him, like, because he went flying up, like, but he was okay. So good times. And one thing that when I said like some strange things started happening, we noticed that Tony was coming less. Like he wouldn't come like when we were there, and we had it all lined up so like we could come at the same times. And there was like some situation where his mom was like trying to keep him. I mean, this is such a common thing. You guys, like, here, any of you ladies are watching this and you do this, like, stop it. Fucking stop it. Like, don't keep your kids away from their fucking parent. I mean, unless you have a really good reason. Like, seriously. Like, a child needs both mother and father. Not just mother, not just father. Both. If you try to use them as leverage, you're a piece of shit. And you know who I'm talking about. Everybody knows somebody like this. And I cannot stand it. Like, stop it. That's so, like, ridiculous. And it's mostly women that do this. And you don't got no fucking power because you're doing that. You know what's going to happen? Your kid's going to hate you when you're an adult. All right, cut to the next scene. But yeah, so we'd go to the park a lot, and they would play, like, on the, what is it? Jungle gym thing. And I got to tell you something about Travis. I don't know. Like, he was always naughty. Like, it'd be time, like, all right, wrap it up. I want to go home. And that's probably what I did. It probably was all about going to the park because I sneak a cigarette. As I'm about to now. Krista knows what I'm talking about. All right, edit. We'd go down to the park, and then they would play by Travis. Naughty little shit. Like, Cody and Lukas would come, like, all right, guys, time to go back home. You know? Travis's fucking ass would, like, run the opposite direction. Dude, this way, like, we're going there. And Lukas and Cody would, like, obey. Lukas was kind of a shit sometimes. Cody was the good one. I think he, like, hears that all the time. Like, he literally was the good one. He, like, never tried to be bad. Travis, man, why'd you do that? She always run from me. I was such a, like, get mad. Get your fucking out of here. But, yeah, he embarrassed me because he wouldn't listen and ran the other way. And then I'd be like, all right, bye. I'd be like, no. Oh, my God. I need Carissa for this one. Travis. I got a good one. Lukas was part of this, too. So Travis was like a scaredy cat. Like, it was so easy to scare him. But he got the moves like Jackson. So, I mean, it was... Plus, he, like, gave us a good show, you know? Like, he was legitimately terrified. So we would just, like, fuck with him. So he must have been especially fragile that day because we were like hardcore fucking with him. No offense, Travis, but like Travis was kind of like annoying. Like nobody ever wanted to play with him, and like he always went, "Oh, play guy." We're like, we don't want you to play with us. Like, Tony was part of this too, and Carissa was with me, so it must have been like summer break or something. And then Cody was like so cute. He just got like ushered in with the big kids, and Lukas just like tried to act tough and fit in with us. So Travis was kind of like the odd man out, and he would be like, "Come on, guys." God, we were so mean to you guys because we wouldn't let him play. Like we kept like fighting with him, like, no, you're not, like, we don't want to play with you. I don't even know what we were trying to do. Like, and we're like, oh, you got to stay in the other room. And so he's like, no, and like, yeah, you got to go in the other room. We didn't want Travis to play. That's all I know. So it was summer. Oh yeah, it was summer because the air conditioner was involved. So there was an air conditioner, like a window unit in my mom's room. God, I'm like a genius sometimes. I like got these great ideas, like, oh, I have a great idea, and like scare the fuck out of Travis. Like, what is it? Like, I just like started getting into the Beatles because we were probably like 13 by this time. It was like my first music that I discovered after, you know, like Britney Spears. My brother did that to me, Justin. He was like, dude, take this shit, throw it in the garbage, and pick 3 CDs out of my collection. And Metallica one. Watch and learn. Do you remember that, Justin? You play that shit on repeat. Oh, I learned. So, Metallica was not one of them I picked. I think I picked Grateful Dead, Sublime, Tom Petty, maybe? Anyway. And you like take these and listen to them and learn something. And I learned things. So, rewind back. So, we were listening to the Beatles and the White Album in particular, and I was like, dude, we should play Revolution number 9 through the vent. And we're just like, oh my God, that's such a great idea. So we like went down the basement, hooked up, because like the vent was underneath it, and like played this number 9. And Travis goes flying. Like as soon as he's like, what is that? And running in there. He's like, guys, there's music, there's something there's somebody saying number 9 through the fucking vent. So we came and we acted like we couldn't hear it, and he was like, like the more we acted like we didn't hear it, the more he freaked out. I'm like, God, this kid is easy. What else can we do to him? Like, he was spiraling. So like, dude, the only way to, like, there is a poltergeist after you. He's gonna get you. If you don't go like where there's air conditioning, it's the only way to defeat him is you have to go in there. I don't know why we were trying to make him go in my mom's room. Like I don't know, we just wanted him to go away. And then, like, it went further from that, and this doesn't even make sense, because he had to go into the air conditioning room to escape the phantom or whatever, but he had to fend it off with a hairdryer, because that makes sense. It doesn't. So we were totally just fucking with him. Man, what is wrong with us? So we put on this like whole skit. We had it where like I positioned him where he was like looking through the window at the same time, like it looked like Lukas was falling off. So we like acted out this whole thing to make it look like Lukas fell off the roof, and like Travis, oh my God, did you see that? I'm like, no, what'd you see? Like, and then we ran out there and Lukas was like already gone, because that was part of the fucking scheme, and like just make him feel like he's losing his mind. Like, then he disappeared. We're like, better go check on this kid. He might be like running in the streets naked or something. Then my mom's door's open, and the air conditioner coming out into the hot ass fucking rest of the house. And on the floor, is the hairdryer pointed at the door. I'm like, dude, Travis, where are you? Oh, he's under the bed. I was like, what? Why are you under the bed? Like, I was like, all right, we're just, like, we had to like the gig's up, you know. We were fighting with you. He's like, no, I saw a pole. I'm like, no, you didn't. What's wrong with us? I was probably all traumatized from that. That's what we did. We had fun when we would play Truth or Dare with them and make them do ridiculous things, as I'm sure they recall. They wanted to, you know, hang out and be cool with us so badly we could, like, make them do anything. It was a good time going over to my mom's house. We got to laugh and have a good time, and I loved don't get me wrong, we didn't always just fuck around with them, but Tony, you know, he's kind of kept away, so maybe it was for the better, but he suffered in different ways, as far as he wasn't getting to see his dad, and in the times he actually did get to see his dad, there were situations. But then it was kind of like a resentment and towards his dad, Leon, for, making things hard for everybody. He just wanted to see his dad, and his dad just, pulled a rick on him and left him hanging. So that's not cool to do to a child. That it hurts them. So I'm sure it hurt him, and we'll get to that. Strange things were happening around here. We're existing in a crisis, are we not? So a crisis was occurring. And it was something I was not familiar with. I didn't know anything about this. I mean, I had in school maybe heard some things about this thing that was taking place, but I didn't maybe understand the gravity of it until I did. I don't remember how it came to light. Maybe it was being a Friday, and it was my mom's weekend, and she was to pick us up from my dad's, and I was excited, I was probably like 10. I don't remember when it all came out. I was old enough. I was older because when I was younger, and in the family and doing stuff, we were going picnics and going to the beach and just having, the most normal family I knew. We used to go to the drive-in movies all the time. That was a good time. Wasn't that a good time? We would fake it that Heather, she was 14 at one point or something, and she had to be 12 or 11. We put her hair in pigtails, and Travis was laid flat on and we put a coat over him. We were sneaking in people. That's how broke we were. So it was still fun. It would be fun. We'd all huddle under one blanket, I just loved that stuff, even though, we were cold and hungry probably. Just one bag of popcorn and one soda or something. Cuddle puddle. It was just fun. And I just remember that was a good time. So it happened later, where this discovery of this crisis happening. And what it was just this. Listen up. So one day, it was a Friday, and my mom was supposed to pick us up. And I'm kind of winging this one because I don't remember exactly how it went down, but I just remember how how things went. And I remember there being this weird letdown. But she always has to come get you. I always just feel like I'm riding in the car listening to some stressful situation that my mom was talking about that could have easily been on a phone call. So my mom was late getting us, and she was never late. She'd come straight from work, even though she had all this stuff to do. She had 3 kids, and she had to go get them from daycare and do this and do that and do this. And they constantly were broke. So she would always come get us, and but sometimes with the flat tire, she couldn't come till Saturday, and I'd be damn it, I have to spend Saturday in this fucking house. So it wasn't her fault. She would keep us as long as she could because she'd have to take us back Sunday, and she'd be really late. So she could spend as much time as she could with us, 9 o'clock. That was the limit. So she was 9 o'clock was when she brought us home, and she would fall asleep on her way home. It was she'd have to roll the window down and sing, or be oh, what? She'd often be talking, telling some story, or would sing. We used to sing the Ants Go Marching. What was that? And we'd be the Ants Go Marching, and then zoom right past the exit. I was looking around, where are we? I don't know. I'm 5. I don't know where we are. We want to do one, and we'll probably do it in a way like this, because we can't just have one there's not just one episode that we can just talk about one storyline. It's too many existing. So we're going to do one called Things My Mother Says. Because things my mom says, it's the comedy writes itself. And the fact that all us siblings are so sarcastic and how we are is constant. So, people see that dynamic on the outside. My cousin Trey actually said something to me. She's be nice to your mom. I'm no. You don't understand this. It's how we are. She seems upset. Yeah, she's always upset. She's always slamming somebody's head into a doorknob or something. Throwing a Harry Potter book on him. I don't know. My mom got some anger issues she needs to work through. I have one called Things My Mom Says. And then we're going to have a segment with my dad. Things my dad does. Because, wow. Interesting. My mom doesn't do that many fucked up things, but my dad sure does. And my dad doesn't say that many fucked up things, but my mom sure does. So I think we're onto something. I do feel like he is trying to make a change. I just want to make that clear with my dad. It's the way he is just the way he is. There's nothing I can do to change that. There's really nothing he can do at this point in his life. He's well into his 60s. he's who he's going to be. And he was made that way by his mother. Yay, great mother, his father, who, like, you know, basically was the same person as him. He got adopted by my aunts, my 3 aunts that I just love so much. So Harry adopted my dad. That's how we got our Polish last name. Thanks, Harry. Something was changing, something was happening, and what it was, we found out on that Friday on the ride home. And she gets there and she's obviously a little emotionally distressed, like when she comes, because she would always come up to the door and, you know, kind of linger. She didn't come in. My dad, like, would never let her in. And back then we didn't have cell phones, so we didn't know exactly when she was going to be there. And she was late already, so, like, I think we were ready. We just had to, like, we were probably thinking she wasn't going to come because that had happened and, like, things happen. And she's, like, crying-ish when we get into the car. And the boys are in there looking a little disturbed. And Mom's like, you guys are just not going to believe what happened. And we're like, what happened? You know, like kids. Like, my anxiety immediately went up. I'm like, there's something going on that's not good. Proceeds to tell us as we're speeding along the winding roads out of hell. This isn't funny. This is serious, actually. She's like, well, Leon didn't come home from work today. Like, where is he? Like, what? Did something happen? I don't know if she went to go get his check, because later there was like a thing where she picked up his check, but she had to pick it up before the certain time or they would give it to him, which they were trying to avoid. But, like, so she went to see if his check was still there or something, and it was gone. He would have to, she checked on the check and the check wasn't there. So he has check and he's just gone. I mean, I was young. I don't remember, but I just remember there was a situation where he had disappeared and took all the money, and he was the breadwinner. So he had taken it and took off. And so at this point, we knew that, like, Leon liked to drink, but he never drank at home. So, like, you never really saw him drunk unless he, like, would go out and drink and then come back home, and then he would be kind of mean. So this was part of the things were strange. So Tony was, like, not coming as often, and we weren't seeing him as much. And then, like, there were, like, marks and bruises happening. What happened? Like, my mom had, like, this black eye. Bad. Like, I think she might have had double black eyes. But it was, like, it kept happening. Like, how was this happening? Like, she kind of kept it hidden. Like, they kind of didn't tell us what was going on. But I come to find out, Leon's hitting her. Like, what? This man that is such a great father is hitting my mother? What are you talking about? Even before that, we had to have been living with our dad at this point, but for some reason we were getting, like, this weird treatment at my mom's house by my stepdad, which was weird because he was like I said, like, we liked him and he was fun, and he had moments, and I don't understand, like, why we had to do it. I mean, one time me, Heather, and Tony were, like, playing with this dead cat. I wasn't playing with the dead cat. I just want to say it was like roadkill in the road. Heather was, like, poking it with a stick. Tony comes out over the stick. I was just, I mean, it smelled bad. I felt a little disgusting. I was out there with them, and my mom caught us, and what are you doing, you know? And, I'm playing with the dead cat. Like, no, you won't, get it right now. And I remember she spanked us with a fly swatter. That shit didn't even hurt, but, like, you had to act like it hurt because otherwise she'd, like, use her hand, and that did hurt. So I mean, I'd be like, it hurts, and Tony's like, that shit don't hurt. I was like, oh my God, cry. So she spanked him with her hand, and then he cried. So I tried to warn you, Tony. Rewind past the dead cat. So we're so that wasn't weird. Like, the fly swatter and the hand, like, that's a spanking. Like, spanking, my dad gave us spankings too, like, when, like, for severe things, but, like, we didn't get hit. I didn't get hit. I didn't get beat. I was not physically abused ever. I mean, except when my dad kicked me when I was sick. Like, what the fuck was that, Dad? Like, so I don't know what we did wrong, but it happened, like, a couple times where we had to do, like, this weird punishment. It was like some sort of, like, like military thing, like, because he was in the army. And like, he'd make us stand in the corner, which my dad did not make us do that, I have to say. We didn't have to stand in the corner. We just had to go to bed, which was way more comfortable than standing in the corner. So kudos, Daddy. But he made us stand in the corner, which I hated because it's like super humiliating. Like, you stand in the corner and look at the corner. Or he's looking at me if I'm standing in the corner. And like, attention. I was a pretty good kid. But apparently I was getting punished all the time. But Heather was too. And she was a pretty, I mean, she stole chaps. She did some fucked up shit. Never mind. So anyway, so he would get like these pennies, and I mean, they're broke. How do they have so many pennies is what I want to know. But they were like in these like wicker baskets. Do you remember this, Heather? That like that fit right in your hand. Maybe one was the lid. Maybe they like went together, and they're just full of pennies, like heavy. And he'd make us like our hands like straight out like this, like straight, and hold them like at shoulder level. And no, get him up. And he would sit there and watch. And if your arms went down, you had to do it for like 20 minutes or something. So it's not cool. Like, I don't know what that was about. So somehow it got back to my dad or something that was occurring. Maybe he was trying to pump some information out of, this weird penny thing. Well, tell me about this. I was the good one. I just like to like, I was just like questioned it, like rebelled a little bit, like just because it didn't make sense. Like I had actual friends. Heather had no friends. Sorry, Heather, but it's true. And you didn't care about that. So you were just like, whatever you want, Dad. And I wasn't. I was like, no, I like want to see what Justin's doing. I want to do that. I want to go have fun. Can I do that? And my dad was like so resistant to that. And Heather was easy because she was like, I just want to stay in bed and read. I'm just a good little sheep. I was just more rebellious, and so I fought for it a little bit more. But I wasn't a bad kid. I was a good kid. I wanted to do the same things as all the other kids. I wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to have a boyfriend that I could actually see and maintain a relationship with. So he didn't dump me. So Heather just always gets caught doing something bad, and then it's like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. I'm going to just go ahead and keep going. Keep bailing on your ass. She takes the easy way out. I'm a fighter. She's a flighter. I know a couple of those. So back to the penny thing. So my dad ended up like opening like this child abuse case basically against my mom for this treatment, which he won. Apparently it's child abuse to make your kid stand in the corner with your arms out holding pennies for 20 minutes. It felt like it. But that was it. Like, it's not like he didn't even hit us ever. Like, I don't think I ever got hit by Leon. Like, ever. The penny thing. That was it. So he hit my mom. He hit my brothers, but he didn't hit me. So sorry, Dad. No juicy gossip there. So like, he was like drinking, and he'd always kind of had this problem, but he was like one of those drunks, and my ex-husband was just like this, where he was super like a good man, like a sober, good man, just a good man and a good dad. And as soon as he like, got underneath his vices, like drinking, and he like turned into Jekyll, he hide in Jekyll, you know what I'm saying? So it was a roller coaster for my mom because she was in love with that man, I've been there, the man that was like sweet and loving and looking at her with love, and all that, and adoring her, to giving her double black eyes. You just can't win, can you? I appreciate you bearing with me during my hat segment, 12:30 at night, but it's a Friday, and I wanted to stay up late to get this done so that I could spend time in the actual studio because I'm in my room and it's a little bit cold out there. I do have 2 heaters. My first episode I filmed out there, but I was freezing the entire time. Like, I really want my sister to get in, Heather, the older one, and Tony, but Tony's going through some stuff. We'll get there. I'm sorry. Our lives are so convoluted individually. It's like each one of us should do our own season. I'm like just doing all the character building ones, but my actual life, it's going to be, I could go for the rest of the year making episodes probably every day about like just all this fucked up stuff. And, life is strange. That's why I named it this. And it took me a long time to like even come to that. And it's not even that clever or great. Life is strange. It is what it is, And I don't know why things happen the way they do. But I do want to, and this is kind of like for our therapy session, which is supposed to be our Sunday episode. So hopefully I can get some of these siblings together so we can do our therapy session. Jesus. But where we talk about like ways of coping with some of the stuff, like in the episodes leading up to that therapy session on Sunday, we'll be talking about episodes 1, 2, and 3, which we can all relate to because we're all part of them, most of us. If Hannah and Abby, who came later, happen to be part of it, that's fine. They can kind of show their perspective after that. I'm going to get to them because I don't want any of them to go over an hour. An hour is the maximum, and that would be considered a special episode. This one might be an hour. It's heavy. And as a disclaimer, don't forget that. Yeah. What was I saying? Giving some sort of a solution to how we cope through it. And there is a book. I can't wait to talk about it. It changed my life. It changed my life. So I use song names for the upcoming titles of the episodes that we're going to be airing. Yeah. So The Burial is episode 5. You like that, Lukas? And then episode 6 is After the Burial. I thought you might find that clever. That was a band my brother was in. So he was in The Burial, and then like members left that band, and then they formed like this other band, and they called it After the Burial. And I thought that I always liked the name. I liked that. And then I was like, hey, I'm gonna like work that into my names of my episodes. Hope you don't mind. I was like, 17 for episode 5. So we get up to 17. Like, so the next couple episodes are going to be like, kind of like, but that's because of what is occurring during these episodes. Like, it's like spiraling. And we're just at the beginning. We haven't even got into it. So, yeah. We automatically thought alcohol. There was something. So something did come out of the penny thing. So my dad like had a case against him and he won. And my mom had to have supervised visitation. Isn't that nice? Oh my God. Like, why? Like, why did this happen? I remember being very upset about this because I feel like that was right after the promise was broken. We barely got to see her, and my dad had to be the one to supervise, which like this perfect situation for him to just like totally control the situation. I only remember actually like doing like 2 of them. Maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, Mom. He like foregoed it himself because he was like, I don't want to do this. Just take them, you know? We could only go with her for 1 day. So she'd come get us Saturday morning and then like spend as much time, like all the way till 9 o'clock. I think this is when she was falling asleep, and then drop us off. Isn't that crazy? Like, and she did all the driving. He did none of the driving, none, ever. And they lived like 30 minutes apart from each other. She did everything. There was no give or take. It was all her. And she was poor, and she paid child support. Like, how much are you going to try? Like, what a mean person. And he's the one that cheated. And he stole us from her. Like, you know, there's so many things. Like, it's just like, what is wrong with you? Why did you do that? And then especially after this, she goes through so much. You know, present day, we're in the car driving recklessly down the road with my mother. And she's upset and she's crying. And she knows something. But she doesn't want to say it in front of the boys because the boys are there in the car. Possibly crying also. Whenever we got in the car with my mom and the kids and stuff, it was just instant chaos. What is going on, you know? But she's like, I think that, you know, he's gonna spend all that money and he's not gonna come back until it's gone. I was like, why would he do that? Like, he knows you guys have to pay rent. He knows you guys have to pay, because they have like all these bills due. So we get to the house, okay? And here's the messed up part. There is no furniture in the house. It's all gone. All their furniture is gone. Gone. They had no TV. Fucking anything. Like, I'm like, what is going? Pawned everything. But why? Why is he pawning stuff? Where is it? Where is he? That's when we found out that my stepfather, who I greatly admired, was a crack addict. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Crack. He smoked crack. Not cocaine. Crack. And he had a horrible problem with it. And my mom had known about it for a little bit. I don't know if this was part of why Tony's mom was keeping him away. I don't know how she could have known that, but I mean, it's possible. Damn it, Leon, you know? And then the alcohol thing had happened and we saw some ugly sides of that. But I still didn't dislike, I thought he got mistreated in that situation because he wasn't hitting us or hurting us. I mean, he was just, you know, it hurt less than the things my dad did to me. But I didn't really have a problem at that point with him. But then when the hitting, that shit pissed me off. Because I was getting older, I was becoming like a teenager, and at this point, my sister was like 16 maybe, and I was like 14. She was working. She's like me, workaholic, and we did corn detasseling when we were 13. The year before, that was like our first job, first big gig. Didn't get a single penny out of that. Where the happened to that money, Dad? If I can work all summer, that was some hard shit. Then we rode our bikes home 7 miles in the country. But anyway, she was working, so she wasn't going to my mom's as often because she had to work on the weekends because she went to school during the week. So it just become me, which is where like Carissa would come with me sometimes because my dad never let me have friends. So my mom would let me have them when I visited her, and that mess up. And Leanne was like really liked Carissa. He thought he was always real goofy with her, and she liked him too. One time I'd come over there and Heather wasn't there because she was working, and I like literally just got back with my mom from picking me up, and Leanne was there. And he was like drunk, I guess. Like it was one of my first times I've ever seen him drunk. Because he didn't get drunk at home. Like he'd go to bars and then... But like I said, he was like, they just turned into this monster. I was like, obviously you shouldn't be drinking, man. Because it makes you a very ugly person. But like come in and, I'm kind of happy to see him. Although I was beginning to think he was... not a very nice guy since my mom was getting beat up prior to this. This was at the house next to the church, which was, I have a lot of memories there. Most of them I recall is from there. I also had to go, my mom had me my stepmom had me go into counseling, for abuse. And I was not getting abused. They're trying to shove this idea that we were getting abused on us, but we weren't. My mom was, but we weren't. And so we had to go to this counselor, and I remember her holding up this flashcard of this little kid hiding behind this gate, all terrified, and there's a flash of lightning and this shadow standing there. I got all elaborate. They're like, "What do you see?" It looks like there's a thunderstorm and the little girl's hiding behind the gate and her dad's coming to help her because she's scared. Because what she wanted me to say was, oh, the dad's coming to beat her ass and she's hiding from him. But that's not what I saw. I saw a storm and she was scared. I mean, that's what I saw. I wasn't getting beat, so. We didn't go to counseling much longer. I think a couple of sessions, and she determined, she's fine. We come in, and from my mom picking me up, and she walks in, and I feel like we stopped maybe at Martin's or something, got some stuff. She had, bags, with some stuff. And my stepdad, just steps he's behind the door, we didn't know he was there, because there was a basement right there, and he was came standing at the top of the basement stairs and came out and kicked my mom, just kicked her right in her ass. Hey, don't fucking kick my mom. That's what I said to this man. And I was a little nervous saying that, I was 14, I could fucking kick my mom in front of me. She didn't even do nothing, she just walked in the door. What was that about? Oh, you be quiet. And you could tell he was drunk, and I was just okay. And I just followed him around. I'm you're not going to kick my mom. Because it was already past that point where my dad had done the child abuse thing, and he won it. So, Leanne was not allowed to touch me. And I used that to, my advantage, that I, my liquid courage. I remember one time, there's so many times, he was I want to say it was my brother, but he was in a rage about something and drunk, I'm assuming. Before this, it was pretty rare that this would happen when we were there. I mean, we were there for a very short amount of time, and usually it was good times. We were doing fun, good stuff. I don't know if it was the stress of all these children, which I don't doubt. And my mom, this is important because I mentioned this before about her using it as to her advantage. Her mentality was because she had known that he was doing this. It started with cocaine. And she knew about it. He pulled it out. And this is maybe after Lukas, but before everybody else came. But probably not. Probably before Lukas even. And you can just do a bump. And my mom, you can't do that. And you're not doing that. And she said she thought it was over. He's oh, okay. But it didn't. It was still going on, and it was progressing, and now it was crack. This fucking bar. Why are you going to the bar? You never went to the bar before that I knew of, but that's where he met my the So obviously the beer thing had been a thing for a while. So when did he start hitting her? It just kind of progressed, but, and I know he wasn't always like that because in the beginning, or he just hid it from us, and my mom did too, because they seemed super happy. I have no idea why. he got that way. But yeah, the crack, I mean, that was obviously from him binge drinking, going out after work at the bar. My mom should have nipped that right in the bud. But instead, she would like get all my siblings like in the fucking car and go looking for him at all the different bars and like, you know, that's trashy. Why would you do that? Go smoke crack and say, fuck my responsibilities. And that's what he did for the next 5 or 8 years. Like, look, don't be a piece of shit. You have like 500 kids. Come take care of them, right? And he just got away with it because my mom allowed it to happen. Sorry, mother, but you did. And my brothers and sisters suffered because of it, which is kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, they should not ever have to see that kind of shit. Ever. I shouldn't have had to see that kind of shit. Like, and I couldn't even protect them from that because I had to go live in fucking this prison that you sent me to. That makes me mad. Makes me want to fucking cry is what it makes me want to fucking do. Because that's some hard shit that we had to deal with them, especially. Like, I thought it was hard for me, and I wasn't even there all the time. You know? Don't be doing that. If you like, I'm just talking to anybody, any other people. Like, don't stay with a drug addict if they're not willing to change. Like, you're only adhering to them becoming worse drug addicts. You know what I mean? Because then they think you can get away with it and do it. Nobody's gonna stop them. They can have their cake and eat it too. You're gonna lose your family. You're gonna lose me if you don't fucking stop this shit. Because what's more important to you? So what does my mom do? She has babies. She keeps having babies. You know why she keeps having babies? Because that keeps him home. That he won't do the crack then. He won't leave. He won't go get drunk. He wants to take care of his pregnant wife. And it worked. It legitimately worked. Cody was the first specimen, right? By the time Cody was born, or whatever, she already knew all about it. And like, her answer was more children. No. That's cool. Like, and we got, you know, this problem, this crisis occurring, that's being enabled by my mother. Tony's suffering because of it, because his dad, like, would rather, like, go spend, like, not, you know, and that's why he suffered. Because when he did get the opportunity to go with it, to get Tony, or, like, Tony's mom was willing to, like, do that, like, he'd gone. This happened so much. This happened so many times. This was just the first time. Like, the furniture's gone, like, all the time. Like, the electric got shut off one time, and, like, Lukas had this, like, little fish, Tacoma, I remember him. And, like, it was a beta fish, and he would, like, live forever. It was, like, the coolest, prettiest little fish. And it was winter, and this fucking fish was, like, frozen in the fucking fish bowl when we got there. Like, I'm like, oh my God, you didn't get the fish out here, because they went to go stay with my grandma. Grandma and Grandpa always bailing them out, because Mom couldn't pay her fucking bills, or giving them money to pay their bills, you know? And my mom worked and had money, but, like, not enough to pay all this stuff because she had the child support being taken out for 2 kids. It's just bad times. And then Liam would take that whole check and spend it on crack, $1,000. And then on top of that, pawn all their shit. Sad stuff. And I felt so bad for them. I remember, back to the fish. So we walk in and my fish is like frozen in this fucking bowl. It must have been the gas, not the electric, because the microwave was right there. And I'm like, he's like, should I put it in the microwave? I'm like, I don't know, man. Go for it. I mean, it's dead anyway, frozen. But like, this fish came back to life. It's like the miracle fish. And I think he lived like another 5 years. Give my mom money because she didn't have any money. Maybe it was when I was 15, because then I had that bus girl job. But something. And it just got really convoluted, and I lost a lot of respect for Leon, which was unfortunate, because I really liked him more than, you know, my own father even. And I hate to say that. It's just the way it was. I'm like, well, why should I apologize for that, you know? I fucking wanted to love you, but you wouldn't let me, and you resisted it, and you were awful to me. You can use whatever excuse you want, but like, it's like, you have to have that trust, and I don't trust you. I don't trust that you love me back, you know? And Leon wasn't like that. He, like, gave me that without me even having to ask for it. I kind of put him on this, like, little pedestal, and then how quickly he had fallen, right? Because now he was abusing my mother and basically my siblings, because they were out. They didn't have the things they needed. Plus, he was physically abusing them quite often, and aggressively, like, not just a spanking. Like, but one time I saw him pulling my brother by his hair. His hair. pull a child by their hair. I was like tormented because of that. Like that was the situation I was talking to you about, where my mother and him were involved. I feel like my mom, like he like pushed my mom or something, and the pulling of the hair, like I like freaked out, like don't pull his hair. Like I was like so mad because it was so evil to do that to a child. And Louis like crying, you know, don't do that to my brother. Like I used to like stand up to Leon all the time. I was just, I was sick. I was sick of how, you know, seeing that happen. Like they were scared, you know, they're fucking kids. They're my fucking brothers, and I'm going to abuse them. So I was, however I was, we kind of lost our relationship over time, which is sad because we had a good bond. I loved Leon, and he totally broke that because of his addiction and his vices, and like he was too weak to overcome them, apparently. Like my siblings like suffering because of that. Like it's not right. I couldn't do anything about it, so it sucked. I hope they're not all fucked up, but some of us are, you know. It's hard to deal with. He couldn't overcome it. He wanted to. There were so many situations where he would like try to like, and like, I don't want to be this person. I don't want to like, you know, I don't want you guys to hate me, because we were like all hating him. Tony was hating him, you know. One time, it was Christmas, and I was a couple of years into this crack addiction thing. And it just kept happening. I mean, my mom had to go get his check by like this certain time, but she didn't get there by 10, which a lot of times she didn't, because who fucking knows? Maybe she couldn't leave at that time. She was like a minute late. He was like, got that check and was gone. And it was the beep. Everybody's like, oh man, you know, you blew it, upset. She shouldn't have to do that, you know? And then everybody's mad at her because she didn't get there in time. Like, this one time, it was Christmas, and Leon was gonna go Christmas shopping because he'd already gone with my mom for like the kids and stuff, and he wanted to go for her. But mom's like, I'm not giving you money. I'm like sending you on your way. You got to take one of the kids with you. So I went with him. Well, he like went in these stores and did his thing. And he had like Tony some shoes, and he got stuff with his money. So I'm in the car, and like, when I get back to the house, I'm starting to get out. And he's like, oh, I forgot cigarettes. I'm like, oh, all right. And he like just left. And I walk in the house, and my mom's like, where's Leon? Like immediately, as soon as I came to the house, where's Leon? I was like, oh, he forgot to get cigarettes. He ran down to the gas station. She's like, no, you can't let him go. What? Why would you do that? Like, screaming, running out. And Leon's guy, she's like, oh, and then comes in yelling at me and crying that I let him go. I was like, Mom, like, you're upsetting me. Like, I didn't know he couldn't go. Like, this was like fairly new to me. Like, I didn't know. I've never been in this situation before. It's not like I was riding with her to go get the checks or anything. I'm like, it was like, he seemed genuine. Like he really forgot the cigarettes. Too much for like a 14, 15-year-old girl to have to deal with. Like I can't stop. I have to think about that. That's insane. Like I don't want to worry about that. You know what he did? Then he took all the gifts back. And he got all the money, and he went binged all weekend on crack. Isn't that fun? And Cody got nothing for Christmas, and my mom got nothing for Christmas. It was like, it's so sad. Like, who does that? Like, why is that a thing? Why are drugs like this thing that people have to do? Not even once, okay? Just don't do it. What is the allure? There is none. Chasing that same high from the first time is never going to come back. So, like, why even do it once? And it's selfish. I mean, especially if you got fucking kids. Don't do that shit. What's wrong with you? Wrong. So, that's where I'm going to end episode 3. I think I've said enough about this, you know. Hopefully we can have a good conversation about this tomorrow. I might add some more to this. I feel like I've just rambled. I haven't really told any... I mean, it's not like it's good, but like it's like the lead up. Like this is how it was. We had a lot of good times. We had a lot of fun times, but then this happened. This was the existing in a crisis, because that's what was happening. We were just at this point existing in the middle of Leon's crisis that wasn't going to get any better. It wasn't going to get any better because he was addicted to this. He needed to go to rehabilitation, and he needed an intervention. But he would like church. My parents would try to like, church will cure everything. Okay, like that's the answer. Not always. It's not always the answer. It's the answer for some people. It works for some people. The cult or what. I'm in church, really. Let's just call it what it is. Cult. Not for like this man. Like that's just a crutch at this point. Like he's like, oh, we're going to lay hands on everybody and I'm going to stop doing this. And he tried to kill himself taking these pills one time. I mean, it was just like a cry for help, obviously. And then read us all these letters that he had wrote us, which was like devastating, you know. I think I was like 15 when that happened. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm glad you're alive. Like, that's, you know. And he read those and he was like super serious. Like, we're going to go to church and we're going to, and I'm going to change my ways. And he always was like all about that. Like, he's going to change. He's going to change. He's like, it's got a hold of him, you know. That's how drugs are. They get a hold of you, man. And he wanted to be better. He did want to be better. I remember telling my mom, like, I wouldn't, because he like had done this. It was a weekend I was there and he took it off with the fucking whole entire check, and my mom's all devastated. I remember sitting at the kitchen table. I'm like, you know what, Mom, you might be better off you find him in a fucking gutter. You know? Like, he's like ruining your life. Like, he's like ruining the kid's life. And I was like so bitter at him because he was just like, you know, ridiculous. Be like, you're a grown man with the kids. And by this time, my sisters were born. So Hannah came 3 years after Cody, I think. And then 3 more years later, Abby. So Abby being the youngest, Heather being the oldest. We're all born now. We're all here. And these kids, Hannah and Abby, so he had his girls. So you get your girls, Hannah being his first. That was like his little, you know, Hannah, little golden girl. She's blonde, the only blonde, blue-eyed one out of all of us, the oddball. And she was born. And she was Hannah and Abigail, which are from the Bible because they are all religious. You couldn't even say like G's, you know, because it was too close to Jesus. It was like a cult. And she had my sisters to keep Leon from going off and doing that, because if she was pregnant, he wouldn't do it. That's an interesting tactic, right? Like 9 months, at least you get 9 months of him like being good, sober. And this is me, like, I feel like I'm just scolding my stepfather and my mother. But you guys, like, do you need scolded? Mom. They don't see what they're doing wrong. You know, you need to do that too. You do have empathy for other people. I'll give you that. But you need to, like, not always act like you're never wrong about anything. You can be wrong. Trust me, I can be wrong. Wrong all the time, especially when it comes to math. It is what it is. So if you see red flags and like signs that you should be doing things differently, do things differently. And it's too late. It's too late. And now your kids, because you let that happen, you know, just be more mindful. Don't think about the repercussions of what your actions are going to do to your family, right? So, end of episode 3. Episode 4 is called Don't Go Off Wandering. So, Leon, we've discovered he has this crisis. He is smoking crack, and it is out of control. He is spending his entire paycheck on it. He is pawning their furniture. He's pawned their vehicle. My mom, I had to go get the vehicle from like the crack dealer's house with my siblings in the car. It's not funny. It's like so disgusting. I just had to laugh just to like let it out. But like, so I'm living with Miss SpongeBob Pretty Pants over here, okay? And then I got this happening over here. And it's hard to not like tell this one about this one, right? And just looks at you like then my dad's gonna look at you like the scum of the earth. Yay! And then we'll never get to go there. And he did find out. He did find out, didn't he? And were things easy? No, they weren't. Now we're on this side of the tracks. Yikes. It's gone were the fun times. Gone was, you know, riding Cody on the fucking bike handles. Now it's just wandering. So that's what we'll talk about in episode 4, and that will be airing sometime next week. I haven't decided yet. I've been staying up late doing these podcasts, and I'm probably going to need a break at some point. So I'm hoping to get those recap ones done with a sibling or two, hopefully more than one. That would be great. If not, maybe Trey, my cousin, he's usually around me on the weekends, and he's a good source to talk to. He's got some good stories of his own. And Trey is my cousin that is my Aunt Sherry's son, who I was talking about, that used to come pick us up when my dad would forget us, and we just loved going there. We have ties. So until then, like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on episode 4.